All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming. Hopefully, you'll find some good information out of this. LinkedIn is one of those topics that a lot of people use for a long time, and they sort of got away from it because it really got abused. Microsoft bought it in 2016, 2017, and it's sort of turned around since then. So but is one of the most powerful tools right now that people can use. So I want to just talk about the first component of what LinkedIn is and how you go about using that. So it looks like several people have a LinkedIn account. A couple use it, but sometimes, often, some don't. It looks like about half of you don't have a company page, and the ones that do don't use it very often. So, okay, that gives me some information that I can do for a later webinar as well. So, thank you everybody for answering that. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and we will get this show started. All right. So everybody should be, seeing my screen here. Make sure you've got the right one going. Let me know if you can't see that, or for some reason you're not getting the, you're not seeing my screen. For some reason it did something weird when I clicked over to it. So let's talk about LinkedIn and what it does, how it works. As I said, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. So that is one of the, so that really has made a big difference in the way that the things that they've done and getting them back into a state of being something of value. It starts with building a powerful profile, and that's really what we want to talk about. But I want to give you a few reasons why LinkedIn is such a strong tool. Number one, it has 600 million members and 675 million monthly users. So it is used by a lot of folks, and there's an audience for LinkedIn. 40% of the monthly active users use LinkedIn daily. So the folks that are using LinkedIn are using it on a daily basis. 87% of millennials, 80% of millennials are using LinkedIn, and 11 million of those are decision makers. Looks like I have the wrong screen up here. Hold on one moment. Share screen. This one. Oh, that looks much better. Okay. I told you did something weird. Profiles with photos get 21 times more views and 35 times more messages. We're going to talk about photos and having a good photo in your profile. So that's going to be an important piece as well. When it comes to the content, it's the #1 channel for B2B marketers when they distribute content. It's like 94% of B2B marketers distribute content in LinkedIn. So it is by far the #1 choice over Twitter and Facebook and everything else. It has 9 billion content impressions in the LinkedIn feed per week, but only 3 million users share content weekly. And that's a huge number when we think about, or that's a tiny number when we think about the amount of content that's being generated. They're being generated by a small group of people. So if we can generate quality content, we could dominate our area on LinkedIn. LinkedIn makes up more than 50% of the social traffic to B2B websites and blogs. So it sends traffic to blog articles for blog articles that you write, for posts that you make on your website. Very important. And here's the statistic. Here's the graph that shows the traffic that it drives. 90% of the social traffic, half of it from LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Half of it comes from LinkedIn. That's to your website and to your blogs. And then here's the other graph that shows 92% of the channels use LinkedIn for their digital marketing, as opposed to Twitter, and then get down to Facebook and YouTube, and all the others kind of dwindle down below. So it's the leading social media channel for B2B marketers. But let's talk about the profile, because the profile is the key. This is where it starts. A good profile is really the key component of getting people to looking at you and seeing what you do. And 99% of the people use their LinkedIn profile wrong. So we're going to talk about some of those strategies and how do you fix those. Number one, so one of the things that we do is we talk about ourselves. And, as much as we know that that's not the right way to do it, it still happens. When we still get in there and we still, our profile sounds like we're warming up for an opera, because it's all me, 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 me. We are not the most important person on here. It's like going to a networking group or a social setting, and all you do is tell people how great you are. And they're trying to wait for you to at least take a breath where they can leave, get away from you as far as possible. And that's the same thing we try to do on LinkedIn oftentimes. It's all about us, but it's not. LinkedIn is not an online resume. It's not your what you do and how long you've been at a particular position and all that. It's not about that. Again, it's about helping the value you provide for your audience. So some of the things your profile should answer, and these are really the guidelines for as you're crafting your profile, these are the guidelines you should be using. How do you help target audiences achieve their goals by using your services? So you've got an audience. How do you help them? What do you do for them? Important component. The next question you want to ask is, how is what I'm sharing going to help your ideal client solve their biggest problem? So the content that you're creating, how does that solve their big problems? Does your profile talk about solving their big problems? Again, it takes it away from you and puts it into the hands of looking at their issues. And then what can make them more money or save them time or solve core challenges? So these are the components. These are the questions you need to be asking and in your profile answering. This is what gets you noticed, and this is what moves you along and makes you the invaluable resource that your potential clients are looking for. So the first thing you want to do is you want to have a professional photo. It's okay to do a selfie or something fun in Facebook, maybe Instagram, because again, we're a little more flexible there, a little less formal, but this is a professional network. And as such, you need a professional photo. Now, for those of you that have never seen me in a coat and tie, take a good look at it, because that's about the only time you'll ever see me that way. But I did create a headshot specifically for the purposes of using it in LinkedIn. Because again, you're trying to create that, the professionalism, but you also want to create the idea that you're friendly, that you're helpful. If you get a picture of somebody that's got a stern look on their face, maybe sad looking, whatever it might be, it's not inviting, it's not appealing, it doesn't draw you in, where the smile and the eye contact do. The other thing you want to make sure of is that you don't cover your eyes. No sunglasses, no tinted glasses, anything like that if you can, because we want to look somebody in the eye and see their, we feel like we trust them when we get that feel. So be cautious about covering your eyes in your LinkedIn profile photo. You got to have a profile photo picture. It's just essential. It's going to pop up when people are looking for friends or for looking for connections. And 9 times out of 10, if they see a connection with just the default, the silhouette head that is the default in LinkedIn, they're going to skip right over it because they know, number one, you don't care enough to have a complete profile. Number two, you didn't take the time to put a photo in there. So as such, you're going to not be somebody that they take seriously. The most important piece, the number one part, and I have preached this and preached this and preached this, and I still do, but the professional title. Where you see your photo, your name, and then you'll see below it a title. That is the one sentence you must get right. Having that sentence appropriate, and most people put in there, hi, I'm Joe Smith, and Joe Smith, owner of Joe Smith Plumbing, or Joe Smith Web Design. And maybe I'm the CEO of my company, CEO web designer, CEO insurance agent, whatever it might be. You and however many other people on the planet have that same title. So what makes you different? And that's really what you're trying to do. In that profile, it's 125 characters. So you're very limited in what you can do, but you want to tell people who you are, what you do for them, the audience that you serve, the value and benefit you bring to your customers, and then the credibility and social proof. And that's a lot to work into 125 characters. And believe me, it takes really a challenging writing exercise to do that. But if you will take the time to create that one sentence, to get that right, you're going to invite more people into your profile than anything else you can do. It's not about you. You want to tell me what you can do to help me achieve my goal. If you can tell me that you can fix my problems, I'm all in. If you're CEO of your XYZ company, I don't care. That has nothing to do with me. I don't really care what your title is or what you have to offer, because you're not talking to me. So here's my profile, and I haven't changed it. And I'll give you some information a few minutes later on where some of this, some of the questions I put together, the template I got, but as I was reading a particular resource, I was going, okay, I got that. Yep. I've done that. So my profile has been this way for several years, but I still like my headline. And it says, and I'll read it to you in case you can't read it: helps businesses achieve online ROI, web design, SEO, and social media that increase traffic and convert browsers to buyers. I could say I'm the owner of 800Biz Ninja Marketing Web Design and leave it at that. But I want to tell people that, number one, I help businesses. I help them achieve a return on their investment. So now I've given them the tease already of what it is that I can do for them and why they need to keep reading. I do web design, I do SEO, and I do social media. And the result of what I do increases their traffic and converts browsers into buyers. People look at that and they're going to go, sign me up. That's the guy I want. I need somebody that can help me convert browsers into buyers, that can increase my traffic. That's what your headline should do. It should be the hook that pulls people into to see what all that you have to offer. So this is where you want to start. And if you don't take anything else away from this webinar today, do that. Get that headline to where it is spot on with what you do for your clients. The summary is the next step, and that's what really makes a strong first impression. It should be client facing. By that, I mean, not about you. It should be all about them. So if you read on through my summary, you're going to find out that I use a lot of, I help you achieve success with this, and you're a web designer or whatever it might be, and it's full of what I do for them. So I could easily say I've got 20 years in the web design business and I built hundreds of websites and blah blah blah, and nobody cares. First of all, this is the first and it may be the only chance you get to impress that prospect. So you want to make that hard hitting, you want to make that full of benefit and full of value. A confused prospect never buys. So you want to make it clear what you do. Never buys with one S. That's good, Gary. How do you do that? So I know it can be an in-depth process, but I want to walk you through sort of a template of how do you create that profile. It starts with, what do I do? So I help, and this is, you could actually take this and fill in the blanks if you wanted, and I'll make this available after the webinar so that you can copy this if you want to utilize this template. But what do I do? Well, I help my target audience achieve their top goal by providing my product and service. So I help businesses achieve maximum return on their investment by providing website design, search engine optimization, and social media marketing, coaching, and training. That would be how I would fill that in. Next paragraph would be who I work with. So I partner with businesses or industry types, including, and if I wanted to include, for example, small businesses, service providers, healthcare related businesses, realtors, those are groups that I work with a lot. So I could plug that in as the list of who I work with, or the job titles, whatever it might be. Why it works. Well, when you partner with 800 Biz Ninja Marketing, you get the most effective and efficient and affordable web design, online, digital marketing presence that small businesses are looking for right now. Why it works. It works because I partner with you to help you get what you want to achieve. What makes me different? And in answer that question, and you need to define that. And I understand that is a hard question to answer. Trust me, I've been doing this a long time, and I ask a lot of businesses this question, and and often I get a blank stare like, well, I kind of do the same thing everybody else does. Then fine, I'll go to the other guy. You have to set your value proposition. What makes you unique? What makes you different? What makes you better than similar vendors or competition? What is your years of experience, the certifications, accomplishments, anything personal, one-on-one attention, your customer service support. Define what you do and how you are different. And granted, you're not going to be the only one that does the things you do, and you're not going to be the only one that does them exceptionally well. But you still want to answer this question and say, I'm the one, I'm the guy. You need this, I'm the guy. Here's why. What others are saying. If you've got 2 or 3 good testimonials, you can plug those in. So, and use a real company, a real person, company name, and an example of the value that you provided and the benefit that you provided to this particular person from you or your business. So you're giving them the social proof that says, I'm not only back up what I say I do, but here's somebody else that says exactly the same thing. How it works. So now explain the process. We start with a free evaluation. I look at all your digital marketing presence. I meet with you in person or on the phone or through Zoom nowadays, whatever it might be, and I discuss your needs. I give you a full evaluation of your website. I give you a full evaluation of your social media platforms. I walk you through every step of what you need. And then with an idea that says, with the idea that says, here are the things that I see that need help, and here is the process of working with me. This is what we'll do to start with. We'll start with step 1, and then we'll do step 2, and then we'll do step 3. And this is how, this is how I work. So explain the process, tell them what you do and how you work with them. And then ask for the connection. Are you ready to reach out to me directly here on LinkedIn? You can email me at my email address. You can visit my website. You can call me directly. So now there's the final thing, is the call to action. So that's a template you can use to build that profile. And if you build that profile based on that framework, you're going to have people calling you. You're going to have people that are reaching out to you. So get that summary really working top notch for people to get in touch with you. If you want to generate more business, we need to replicate that face-to-face experience. That's the cornerstone of sales transactions and business deals. I mean, we're looking, and we were talking yesterday, Pam and several others were talking yesterday about how do we get that face-to-face experience where we used to be out meeting people in networking events and knocking on doors. How do we replicate that through a offline or a digital means nowadays? Because we can't do those things, and who knows when we're going to be comfortable going out and doing the face-to-face networking. So generate that face-to-face experience, and LinkedIn gives you a way to do that. So if you have a good profile and you're telling people what you do, one of the things you should definitely add then to your LinkedIn profile is a 90-second long welcome to my profile video. There's your face-to-face interaction. Hi, I'm Gary. This is what I do. This is how I work with businesses. This is my passion. I love helping businesses take their digital marketing presence and ratchet it up to the next level where they're actually getting positive results. Now I've just given them my message, and I don't have to be face-to-face, but yet they see me deliver it, and they see the sincerity, and they see the passion in the voice that I have. So I would strongly recommend you create a video and put that on your LinkedIn profile, but then you could use it other places too. You can put that on your website. You can put it on Facebook. You can put it on Instagram. You can, send it out in an email link through YouTube and other things like that. So it's not going to be just limited to LinkedIn, but I think it's a powerful tool for LinkedIn. Utilize the experience section of your LinkedIn profile to highlight your business. So you've got your about section, your summary that tells people kind of what you do. You have another section of experience that lets you further define your business. So in mine, for example, if you were to look at my profile, you would see that it has in my about, it talks about the things I offer for businesses and how I help them. In the experience section, it has bullet points of each of my services. So I'll do a bullet point of web design and talk about responsive, mobile responsive, and I'll talk about secure, and I'll talk about e-commerce, and I'll bullet point email marketing, and I'll bullet point blogs and SEO and all those things. So I have a bullet point list that is just another place that reiterates my expertise level. So go to that experience section, make sure you fill that out. And like I said, that can be done more bullet point than anything else if you want. LinkedIn recommendations are gold. Those recommendations, we all know that a good recommendation is a powerful, powerful tool. And so having a good recommendation out there on LinkedIn just adds to that social proof that other people that have done business with you vouch for the fact that you're a solid business. But it's hard to get those recommendations, just like it is hard to get Google reviews. But one of the best way to get a recommendation is to give one. So when you give a recommendation for somebody, at the bottom of the form that they get that said, hey, somebody's written you a recommendation, don't you want to write them one back? Well, it sort of prompts them, and they feel almost obligated. So it's that's one of the best ways to get recommendations, is to give them. You can ask as well and make links available on your website or in your email signature lines, but giving the recommendation is a whole lot more helpful. And then you want to make sure you fill out all the other sections on your LinkedIn profile. The LinkedIn profile has sections for many, many different things: accomplishments, volunteer work, education, certifications. It has a section for media, so you can plug in videos, you can plug in PowerPoints in there. It has a section for skills. Skills are another thing you can fill in there. So go through the sections on your LinkedIn profile and fill out as much as you can, because the more you have, the better it looks. I mean, the better it's going to, the more impressive it's going to be for people viewing your profile. That I just wanted to kind of, I really wanted to focus on that, the profile initially, and let you, and I'll dive a little deeper into LinkedIn, using it for things like lead generation and things like that. But you don't want to do that until you have the until you have the profile completed. I'm going to pop over here my LinkedIn profile just so you can see the sections real quick. So when you sign into LinkedIn, if you have your profile, you'll come up here to your name, the little circle with your name, view your profile, and here's all the things you can do. You can add a profile section. So if you'll look, here's my about section, and you'll see, if you were to read through it, it talks about the service that I provide, how I help businesses and help you achieve your online success. Here's a list of the things I do. Video right here, an introduction video. Here's several videos that are right here attached to my profile, and I have them near the top. Here's the experience section that talks about, what I've done, my education stuff, licenses and certificates, volunteer things, endorsements and skills. So you can fill out any of the skills and endorsements that you have, fill those in. Here's recommendation section. So anytime somebody writes a recommendation, I see that. Accomplishments, interests. So that shows you the things that are available there. Up here if you don't see those available on your profile as you're looking at them, come up here to the add profile section, and you'll see here's my intro, the things provide, the showcase services we provide. Here is the my about section, and it says I've got that pretty well complete. Featured, I can do a featured video, I can do a featured post that stays always at the top of my feed, so that somebody comes in and sees it for the first time. I want them to see that. That's a great spot for your video, your welcome video. You can do background, work experience, education. Here's all of those things, skills, accomplishments. So everything is right here on this additional profile setting. And fill it out as much as possible. That's really the key, because once you have as much of that in there, you're going to have a profile that people are impressed with, number one, and then they see that you're offering the services that they have that they want, and then will want to take advantage of that and work with you. So LinkedIn profile, can't stress the importance of it, but I'd love to see next week, if you guys want to join, come back in. I'd love to see, let me know in the chat if you do next week's webinar, what you did on your buyer, on your headline here, and or email me, because I would like to see that, and I'd love to see what you've done and give you some feedback. So thank you guys for coming. If you got any questions, pop those in the chat box. As always, this is being recorded. I will post it up on my Thursday30.com website so you can see the replay. And I'll also post a link to that template. By the way, I was going to mention that template is came from a book by called LinkedIn Riches by John Nemo, and he's really good, and he had some great tools and tips and things like that. And I did pick up some good information from him, but you know, as he was talking about profiles, this was his key thing right here, was that sentence and that section. And so if you follow that profile, that's going to be almost exactly what mine looks like. Mine's tweaked a little bit, or mine's a little different because I did not do any testimonial in mine because I didn't think about that section. So that brought to mind, hey, that's a good idea. I should probably do that. And I probably will add that in as I work through this and kind of revisit this. But it's an important piece. So keep that in mind. And if you have no more any questions, well, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. I'll let you know the topic. I'll announce that. I'm still thinking about a couple of different topics for next week, but I will have that put together and send it out to you. So thank you guys for coming, and hope this was helpful. And I will see you guys next week.